Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Conversations podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Daf.
Hi, I'm Mike.
How's the last week been since we've last met up?
This week for me, pretty momentous. I went to a 90th-year-old birthday party for a relative, my aunt, and she literally has a legacy of almost 100 children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
Wow.
It was a huge, huge party. Yeah, caught up with a lot of cousins that I haven't seen in years, haven't met their spouses. A lot of them have gotten married, had kids. I had a good time. It was really fun catching up. I've been checking out new graphics cards. I'm a computer gamer guy, and my graphics card has fallen way behind as far as game graphics go. So I don't know how much you are into game graphics or gaming at all.
I don't know what a game graphic card is.
Most girls at your level have nothing to do with computer gaming. I'm trying to get one, the best one that I can afford.
Got it. So I know we've talked about the Slender Man stabber woman a few times now. When we originally mentioned her, it wasn't really that serious. It was kind of lighthearted, but then it kind of became a relevant topic because girl broke out. Really unexpected. Thankfully, they did capture her. She spent less than, I think, 28 hours.
That's pretty quick.
Quote unquote freedom. Yeah, they caught her pretty quick. A missing persons report was not initially filed, and they kind of gave her a head start. And it sounds like she had an accomplice. So maybe this was somebody that she has been communicating with for a period of time now, and maybe they...
A stan, maybe.
Yeah, maybe she had a stand. You're right, because she did reference her notoriety
Right.
upon capture when they were asking for her name, and she was too embarrassed to give it. She told the officers to simply Google her.
Again, where vanity got the better of themselves.
Apparently. So glad to hear that they've apprehended her. It sounds like the lawyer is still really pushing for psychiatric care and not prison, which I think at this point is a joke.
We're not talking about a normal person. I mean, this is a convicted murderer.
But she tried to murder. So I don't know what the charge is. Attempted homicide?
Oh, the victim survived?
Yes.
I forgot that part. Okay. If I was on the jury, I would say this is not a normal person. How many second chances do people who go around stabbing other humans deserve?
She didn't deserve for her sentence to be slashed. And
I'm just disappointed at the system here. Yeah, that sounds premeditated to me. Cutting off a bracelet is not, oh, my bracelet fell off. I think I'll take this opportunity and run now.
yeah, she went out of her way to remove the bracelet.
Yeah, like this is
She had a plan.
Plan. Yeah, she cut it off. I want to know how, I thought they make these things so that they can't just be cut off. Like, did she use scissors or?
That's what I'm saying. What are they giving them in this group home that they're not like analyzing like, gee, could they use this to saw off their bracelet?
Like when you go to jail, they don't even give you real underwear. It's paper, I understand.
I mean, I think that's why a group home is totally different. It's supposed to be like a transitioning you back into regular life.
And scissors and drills and heavy duty equipment.
These spots in the group home should be reserved for actually deserving, reformed,
Right.
ready to be introduced back into regular, society.
Yeah, she doesn't want to change.
Should be reserved for those people. So kind of a hot topic, something I've been thinking on when it comes to purchasing and using items. Obvious decline in quality, specifically in brands that were notorious for being high quality. Brands just aren't necessarily what they used to be. I've been coming up with specific brand names that I've noticed. I think you came up with a little bit of a list as well.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with you on this good topic.
Thank you. Personally, clothing has been something I've been purchasing for a long time. Girls love clothes, right?
And you take special notice of details.
Right. I just miss the quality guarantee. I've also noticed the quality going down in Levi's jeans, Lucky brand jeans. Are you familiar with that brand?
Yeah, I am.
I have a pair of jeans, which is probably my absolute favorite. It just the way that the denim feels, the fit, the length, comfortability. Like, I love these jeans. I've actually tried to find them online. They don't make that kind anymore. I've been into Macy's and I've looked at the Lucky's display. I've given them all a try. Like, everything that they have there just seems cheap. I even bought a pair. I was like, well, I'll give this a go. It's Lucky's. Maybe Just, throwing me off a little bit upon purchase, purchased it and regret it. So Lucky jeans, no longer what they used to be. I would say also a little bit lower quality, originally, but the quality has gone so far down from what it used to be. H&M, I'm sure you probably don't shop there, but H&M, I used to be able to get some pieces there. And now you go in and not only is it just an odd assortment, there's nothing I really want, the designs aren't there anymore, but the quality, it's just so thin. It's Kmart. So yeah, H&M went downhill. Uniqlo, I actually have a few long sleeves from when they used to be good years ago. Now I can't find anything nice, quality, thick, and durable in there anymore, which is pretty sad. With athletic wear, I've noticed Lululemon and Alo Yoga, not what they used to be. Again, I have a pair of Lululemons. This is embarrassing. They're probably 15 years old. They are old, but I don't wear them anymore because they're just so old.
Yeah.
But they're just not what they used to be anymore.
I read there was a recall on Lululemon. They had a style of pants that were so transparent that when girls bent over, they literally were, you could see right through them. They're exposing themselves.
I don't think that I don't think that necessarily calls for a recall because that's a consumer choice.
Saw it on the news. It's like an issue. Like they were unexpectedly transparent.
Interesting. Not to defend Lululemon at all, but I think that's on the buyer. You got to test it out yourself.
I remember just thinking of you when I saw the headline. I'm like, oh, I know somebody who wears those.
I do love Lululemon. Again, I haven't been purchasing nearly as much as I did in past years because I think the quality's gone downhill. But I also go out of my way to, in all athletic wear, I never get white, peach, even shades of light pink. Not me.
Always something dark.
Always something, earth tone or darker. Yeah, I'm not a light. You can do a light on top, but you also need to be careful because sometimes you'll have somebody like do a double take, like if it's too pink, they don't think you're wearing a top, and I don't want all eyes on me like that. So
I think some girls are different than you on that.
Anyway, Lululemon and Alo Yoga, not what they used to be. I do love athletic wear. I could probably go off and find a few more brands that could fall into this category, but they're the two biggest offenders as of late, if you ask me. Lastly, high end. Not that I have a Louis Vuitton bag, but I have a close personal friend who does purchase Louis Vuitton from the boutique, multiple different bags from different Louis Vuittons. She knows the quality. Her latest bag she bought in the States, in a Southern California Louis Vuitton boutique.
So she knows it's real.
Right. And after a few months, the handle was starting to get sticky, the way fake leather does after wear. It was crumbling. It was having, some black bits come off. It was obviously low quality.
Yeah.
She has had other Louis Vuitton bags for decades that don't have the same wear. So really strange and peculiar. She brought it into Louis Vuitton and they said that it was regular wear and tear. And so she took it to a cobbler. She lives in a nice area. So this cobbler is familiar with high-end bags and different luxury brand leather quality. And he said, immediately he asked my friend, is this a fake bag? Respectfully, is this fake? I think you might have gotten a fake. And she said, no, I got it from the boutique. There's no way this is a fake. And he said, then I think that you got a really bad one. Or, they've changed out their quality of leather. Of course, there's always the possibility, because this does happen, some sales associates for high-end brands like that, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, whatever, they will find a high-end fake on their own and swap it out for the real thing.
Salespeople themselves.
Sales associates will do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't want to say potentially that happened to my friend. Always a possibility. Thankfully, this cobbler swept in, saved the day, totally repaired her bag with real leather, much nicer than what it came with when she bought it from the store. And she just said, it's a shame. I don't think I can buy Louis Vuitton anymore.
Yeah.
Continuing on with this topic, I want to go into some food brands that I've noticed have totally severely dropped in quality. Is it just one restaurant on this list? I guess it's just one restaurant. Panera Bread. Growing up, Panera Bread was pretty affordable and a really good, yummy meal. They particularly had a dish, chicken tortellini Alfredo. Haven't seen it there for years. Breaks my heart. I haven't been able to find a similar chicken tortellini Alfredo. Anyway, just not the same. The quality has decreased. The quantity, the sizes have gotten smaller, and the prices have only gone up. Of course, we're in a bit of a recession. Like, it's a bad time right now with inflation. I'm taking that into account. There's still no excuse. Panera Bread, you used to be so awesome.
I see them all over the place.
Oh yeah, they're still huge.
They must be popular.
They're still huge. And I still eat there because of the convenience. You know, I crave a real good yummy salad, and sometimes the grocery store salads aren't good and yummy. Anyway, so Panera Bread, really disappointing to see that go downhill. I have faith that it could be saved. Maybe they just need a good CEO or something like that. Ice cream. I remember growing up, Breyers ice cream with the D. It was just known. It was notorious for being high quality. Same with the Breyers brand.
Used to be my favorite.
Super high end. I mean, I remember those being comparable to like Haagen-Dazs. That was the desired one, right?
Well, it was just delicious.
And yes, it was. I don't know when this frozen dessert situation showed up on the scene. Yeah. But everything now is a quote unquote frozen dessert, including Breyers and Dryers. And now it's literally fake.
I think the reclass or different term is a cop out for there's no cream in it anymore, so they can't call it ice cream anymore.
I just don't know when these brands made 100% switch. I guess I would understand if they had a lower end product, which was the frozen dessert, and then they had a couple dollars more, the real thing. That would make sense to me. But like, who in this brand's right mind decided, nope, do away, let's just do the frozen dessert, we don't need to actually sell real ice cream anymore? They built a reputation for years off of being high quality, you know,
and then they just go and betray that.
Exactly. I don't recall watching a commercial saying new frozen dessert. You know, they didn't introduce the change, they just did it really sly.
Almost like on the sly, they're tricking us.
So ice cream, super bizarre. I really would recommend anybody to check your ice cream brands and make sure it's, you know, cream with vanilla or, you know, real stuff.
Butter.
Milk. Yeah.
Did you know ice cream has, used to be in the industry of ice cream, they were classified by their butter content. The more butter they had, the higher end ice cream they could claim to be.
Speaking of butter or even different dairy products, I was at the grocery store the other day and I was grabbing sour cream. I just grabbed the small Lucerne brand one. It was yellow. And there was a representative for Daisy, the brand Daisy. I don't want to say Daisy sour cream, but I guess that's their most popular item.
Yeah.
Brand name is Daisy. So there was a sales representative.
Like at a local supermarket?
He was stocking the Daisy product.
Got it.
So maybe it was new product because he was willing to talk to me and he said, you know, do you mind if I ask what makes you reach for the Lucerne? And I said, oh, just, you know, the price. That's just the one I'm used to getting. And he mentioned to me that actually Daisy was cheaper. And then he said, do you mind if I show you the ingredients? And he showed me the Lucerne, which had a whole bunch of different things, guar gum, different, I think, phosphates.
What is that stuff?
Yeah, just, I think, stabilizers and preservatives to make the product sit on the shelf longer. This representative, the brand associate, I'm not exactly sure what he was, but he was there stocking up, I think it was new product. And he showed me that Daisy is literally made of cream, skim milk, and like vitamin A. There's 3 or 4 ingredients. And he showed me also their cottage cheese, and they had a new dip for chips, which I usually don't buy. But again, there was only like 3 or 4 ingredients in there. And I was like, okay, I can give it a go. Like, I like chips. It was a little bit of an indulge. Anyway, I'm just blown away. And I don't know if anybody knew this, but stay away from the Lucerne brand. You know, it's cheap for a reason. Also, not only just their sour cream and cottage cheese, their sliced cheese as well as shredded cheese. Why is it not molding anymore? And what is that smell? That's all I'm going to say. Look into your cheeses, you guys.
I like how you say cheap for a reason.
Yeah. Literally fake. Yeah. Not real food. I remember Ritz crackers being so yummy and like buttery tasting. I used to be able to like eat the whole sleeve by itself. They were that good.
Yeah. Bad snack choice, the whole sleeve. But
well, I used to think, you know, these aren't really bad crackers.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Wheat, butter, salt.
And they're really good.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing. The flavor was just there. Like Ritz crackers were so good. They aren't anymore. They're not buttery. They're not flaky. They're just like gross.
But they last a long time, I bet.
I'm not sure. I don't buy them anymore because they're gross. Same with Wheat Thins. Used to love Wheat Thins.
Yeah.
Not the same. And that finishes off my restaurants and my foods. My last ones are just kind of randoms. So my last little random ones are going to be Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix, the main 3 streaming services. I don't know where Hulu is getting off charging people over $100 per month and not giving full access to absolutely everything on that platform. I don't want a freaking advertisement. I do not want to be met with, oh, pay for the $10 a month add-on HBO or Stars if you want to see this specific series. Quit with the games, Hulu. Quit with the games. Netflix, I'm so fed up with it. I usually don't even watch Netflix anymore.
No.
Continually not giving us like good stuff. It's just boring. You guys are spending money on the wrong things. Netflix, make my monthly payment lower. And then last one, Amazon Prime. You got to pay for the Prime account, right?
Yeah.
I'm paying to have a Prime account. Why are you charging me more for specific things? I'm already paying. Stop with the add-ons. Stop. I already signed you. You got me. Okay. I'm a customer of yours. I got the Prime account. You're welcome. Do not tell me that I need an add-on or that this is going to be, $3 or $4 or $14.99, or again with sometimes you need the Paramount add-on or something. And it's like, just let me watch my show.
Yeah.
Stop with the shakedown.
And the interruptions. Before you were born, there was antenna TV. Cable was introduced. And one of the big selling point about cable, you signed up for cable, there were no advertisements. That was like the sell.
Okay.
Get cable
and that
TV.
only lasted until they said, all right, in 2008, the antennas, we're cutting out the signal. So you have to get cable. And then the advertisements came.
Yep. See how they lock you in?
Yeah.
It's like, you just get the feeling you're just constantly being tricked and manipulated.
Yeah. My very last random brands, items that are no longer high quality is going to be Costco toilet paper. If you're unaware of what's going on with the Costco toilet paper, I suggest you to do some research. I don't want to talk about it because it's kind of icky, but definitely look into the Costco toilet paper. You should not be using that stuff anymore. And then the Kleenex brand, like facial tissues, what you use to blow your nose, the Kleenex, Kleenex, that brand. I used to be, that was my go-to brand. That's what I knew growing up. That was in my house. A lot of people, when you go over to their houses, it's just the most popular brand, right? So by default, that's usually what I would purchase. Until I believe it was last year, or maybe the year before, I was going to my workout class and I was wearing a black long sleeve athletic top and I blew my nose. Must have been winter time, it was a little bit cold, whatever. And then when I got home a couple hours later, I noticed that there was like sparkles all over my top. And I'm not a sparkle product girl, so I'm trying to figure out where these sparkles could come from. And then I eventually, after a couple months, I noticed on the tissues, there's sparkles. And when you pull it out of the tissue box, there's kind of a little cloud of sparkles. It's insane. So I don't know what that could be.
Yeah, sparkling.
But
what is that?
It was off-putting to the point where I stopped using the product. I have now switched over to both bamboo-based toilet paper and tissues. Why don't we hear from you? What are your brands that you've noticed are no longer high quality?
I want to second some of your labels, things that I've noticed. Like you mentioned Levi's. Levi's, I grew up with Levi's. I can't remember my first pair, but well, on these, not so bad because these are new. But I'm noticing the cuffs of my Levi's, they just start shredding. Because maybe I wear them too much barefoot in the house, but the cuffs used to never shred like that. The stitching just seems cheap and weak. You wash them Levi's, you used to wash them 3 times before you'd wear them to school the first time because you didn't want them to look new. That was the thing back then. But now I feel like you wash them too many times and they'll just literally start falling apart.
Yeah, that's my takeaway from them. They're much thinner. The durability doesn't last as long as it used to.
Yeah. What was the other brand you mentioned? Ice cream. Okay. Breyers was my favorite. White mint and chip. High butter content. And now you're saying they don't even call it ice cream anymore. And yeah, rightfully so. It doesn't even taste like ice cream. Duracell batteries used to be the best. If you had a product that you didn't want destroyed by a leaking battery, that leaked battery acid all over your $100+ electronic item, you paid extra. It was a lot extra, but Duracell would never fail you or damage your equipment. But it does. Nowadays, it's just crap. Electronic equipment, I was always a big fan of Sony. Sony ruled as superior king of all electronic items. In Japan, they were famous for being the best, cutting edge, innovative. the most expensive, but like the Discman I showed you earlier was gifted to me when I was living in Japan, and Sony was at its peak of high level reputation. It's 31 years old, and I'll play it for you later. Plays like a charm. My parents had a Sony DVD player, and they called me telling me to come over and fix it. It crapped out after 2 years. And I felt bad because I was the one who told them Sony's the best. It's worth the money. You get what you pay for. Not anymore. Last item, you were talking about your friends, Louis Vuitton. So, my last recent trip I took to Thailand?
Yeah. I
bought some Ray-Ban sunglasses. I literally think they're originals. I do not believe that. So it's stamped on the side, made in the U.S. I don't think so. They're made in Thailand. Sorry, they're made in Vietnam, and they're shipped to the United States, and they just jack up the price. There's no difference. The supposed fake ones that I bought on my trip to Thailand, they have etching in the lenses. The markings are exact. I think they're legit. I think they're the real thing. I think Ray-Ban is just making them in Vietnam and lying to us that they're made in the U.S. so they can jack up the price.
It probably happens way more than we expect and want to realize.
If they're going to trick us on the ingredients of the food we consume, why wouldn't they think of just mislabeling something made in USA when it's really not, if they can sell it and make more money?
Indeed. Let's go into a little bit of a driving story. I recall you telling me about driving for a specific ex-Playmate for Playboy.
Yes.
Specific ex-Hugh Hefner girlfriend, R.I.P. Hugh.
Kendra.
Although maybe not R.I.P. because some people say he wasn't a great person. Anyway,
oh, right.
Miss Kendra Wilkinson, tell us about driving for her.
Sure. I just want to say I met Hugh Hefner before he passed, of course.
Good thing you clarified.
Yeah. Yeah. Duh. The Playboy Mansion party thing was like invite only. And through a friend, he got like an invite plus 3 or 4. So I was one of his 4 and went to the Playboy Mansion for fun, met the girls, danced, partied, drank. It was fun. Just so happened to be Hugh Hefner was dating Kendra. That was his favorite girl at the time. And then separate, totally related, but completely separate, when I was driving limos just a short time after that, I got a trip sheet that said to pick up Mr. Basket and party. I had no idea who Mr. Basket was. Turns out he was a famous football player and was engaged to Kendra. So I picked her up. I recognized her. I met Hugh Hefner, not her. So she had no idea who I was, but I knew who she was. And normally I'm not starstruck at all. But I thought, she's very beautiful, and it was cool. I got to drive her. I think it was a party or something. The funny part was Mr. Basket asked to be taken home first. He was tired, had a game the next day, but he wanted her to go out with her friends and continue the bar hopping.
She was a big party girl.
Yeah, you could say that. And I remember this because I thought it was very classy. He tipped me out for the run before it was actually done. And then he said, yeah, just take them out as late as they want to stay and please bring her home safe, which that was my job. So did that. Took her to several bars on Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard. She was with 2 other girls. By the time they were done, it was like early Sunday morning, 2 or 3 in the morning, whatever. And I'm driving him back, and her girlfriend yells out, pull over now, like right now. I found a safe spot, pulled over. It happened to be next to a park, nice curb, street lights, good neighborhood. She told me to unlock the window, so I knew she was going to vomit. I wanted to make sure that she didn't do it in the car because that meant I'd have to clean it up. So I go out to the back, and I find her leaning out the window, and her friend says she feels sick. She's going to puke, or maybe I don't know how she said it, but...
You're like, yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, I knew what was coming. So I gently opened the door, and she was leaning out the window. So when I opened the door, she naturally, her head, I caught her head. So I'm holding her head, and I'm leaning her out holding her so she doesn't fall out of the car. But I wanted to open the door so she would get it in the gutter. And I don't know if she's going to hate me for all these details, but it was a great memory for me. as a driver.
If Kendra needs to feel better, I did get driven home once it was an Uber Black, so it was like the more expensive one. It wasn't a private limo, but Uber Black. And yeah, I did vomit on the side of the car. I had to roll the window down and vomit. I immediately felt better too. And I like just took a breath and I was like, oh, I needed to vomit, thank gosh. And then I look up and the driver is looking at me in utter disgust through the rear view mirror, utter disgust. And I thought to myself, gee, he hates me. I wasn't thinking about that before I vomited. Whoops. But at least it wasn't inside. So we get to my house where I was living and he walks out around to the vomited side of his car. It was a little bit embarrassing. And, I said, sorry.
So it was all dripping down the outside.
Mean, it wasn't like a crazy amount of vomit, but
yeah,
he was upset. And I said, I apologize. I figured that, the Uber Black is expensive enough. Go run through a car wash. It wasn't like an Escalade. It wasn't an insanely nice car, but.
And you didn't get any on the inside?
No.
Because that's like far worse.
The main thing was he was very upset. And to defend Kendra, and, you mentioned that Hank tipped you early because Kendra maybe was going to be incapacitated, not remember to tip. Unfortunately, it didn't dawn on me to tip the guy. So
right.
I feel awful. And if I could go back, I totally would have. But I wasn't one to keep cash on me. Like maybe I could have Venmo'd him. But again, I was very drunk / hungover, not in the right mind state. Needed to go inside. I'm really sorry. I don't know what to do in this situation except leave. I'm really not in my... Anyway, feel bad for the man. I will never forget the disgusted look through the rearview mirror. But again, sorry, Kendra, if telling the story is embarrassing to you. We'll totally take it down if you don't like it. But, I can relate, so I'm sure a lot of other people can relate. And Mike has told me before that he loved driving for you and that you were one of his favorites. So I hope it's not too offensive or you're not angry. Yeah, if you even watch, we could only hope, right?
Yeah. Let's hope so, or maybe not. I don't know. There was no disgust on my part. My favorite part, while I was holding her from falling out of the car, her friend said, hold her hair back. So here I am. I got this beautiful woman's face in my hands, cupped in my hands, and I'm pulling her hair back. It was kind of a pleasant memory for me. And as soon as I got her hair back, she started vomiting and it went all over my shoes. Oh. But instead of the disgust, like your Uber driver, the way I took it was, I'm getting vomit all over my new driver shoes, but this is a Playboy. Like how many men would like to be holding the hair back of a beautiful Playboy Playmate while she's, relieving herself on vomiting on my shoes? I took it real well. I was an experienced driver, so I keep lots of cotton rags in my trunk for this. So after she did that, I went in the back. I dipped a cotton towel in my melted ice that I keep in an ice chest in the trunk. Wrung it out, handed it to her, and I remember she looked up at me and she goes, "This is so nice." Aww. Like, because it was cool, and when you're drunk like that, your face is hot.
She's like, "I was not expecting this."
She was really impressed. Hopefully she remembers that part, but
she might not remember anything when you're drinking like that.
Yeah, it was fun though.
Again, no hate. You should be having fun like that. Responsible limo escort.
Yeah.
You're with your friends. You're not by yourself. Those are the days to live and have fun like that. If you're gonna be crazy and wild, if that's what you classify as being crazy and wild, do it safely. So no hate on that.
Yeah.
When you're a Hollywood socialite like she was
in good hands.
Yeah.
I took good care of her.
You deserve to
and
have
her
fun.
fiance, he stepped up and took care of me.
She seems like such a great person. Usually people in the Hollywood sphere are kind of weird and two-faced, not genuine. I remember watching her on the Girl Next Door, the Playboy show. One of me and my friend's favorite because you could just sense the authenticity.
Authentic, yeah. I have to second that. They both struck me as a very classy couple.
Do you remember if she was wearing like a super cute outfit-wise, what was going on?
Well, I don't know how much guy detail you want from that story, but the best part, only because you're asking, the best part for me was while I had her hair back and while she was vomiting on my new chauffeur dress shoes, she was wearing a bit of it was like a Saturday night outing, girls at the bar. It was a pretty skimpy top, but I remember noticing the most because of my unique point of view or perspective was I remember looking down, right down the small of her back. And back then, low hip riding jeans was the thing. So her jeans were like low on her hips, and I could see this bright red thong going right down,
Oh my
right
gosh.
down a sexy part of her body. And I just remember going, I should not be enjoying this so much. But I did. I'm totally blushing right now, I think.
Oh, because you're talking about Kendra?
Well, and looking.
You're still having that effect on him decades later, Miss Kendra.
Still.
When do you think that was? What year?
I don't know. Look it up when they were engaged. I'm going to guess 2012.
2008. Got married in 2009.
Oh, wow. I was off. That was definitely at the beginning part of my chauffeuring career.
Oh, so it was when you were a newbie.
I was a newbie, yeah.
Fun.
Well, I did wine tours for several years before that, but doing wine tours is a completely different animal than Hollywood.
Last thing I'll say, just to top it off, you know that the Playboy Mansion, I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't exist anymore, but it essentially was like totally knocked down, renovated, like not what it used to be.
I didn't know that before you just told me that today.
Yeah.
Another cool memory for me. A lot of people just took their clothes off and jumped in the pool, which was pretty cool.
Fun.
It was invite only for the men, and they were mostly like industry types. They were like directors, producers, behind the scenes type people. And then it was a way to get a lot of girls to apply to model and meet prospective agents and things like that. So there's a lot of girls there, and they handpick them. So they're all gorgeous, and they're very friendly, and they're eager to meet everyone at the party. So it was fun.
Fun.
But classy at the same time.
Classy fun. At
Classy
the Playboy
fun.
Mansion.
With a little bit of nudity.
Okay, awesome. Well, I think that wraps what we have to talk about today. I did just want to mention and apologize. The audio issues in episode 1 to 3, we're aware. We are sorry. And I'm pretty sure episode 4 and on, we'll have that totally smoothed out. We appreciate your support on those rough episodes and your continued support watching today. Anything you want to say to sign off?
My test. No.
All right. Have a great week, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.